Don't focus on displaying disagreeable behaviors just to prove to others that you're hard to get. That's just playing hard to get. And while it can be fun for your ego, it doesn't really lead you to long-term happiness and stable relationships. Hi girlies, welcome to Debrief Sesh, where we talk about anything around dating, pop culture, and dating in pop culture. Every time a new season of Singles Inferno airs, Jia is on top trending again. There's no question that she has really made a big impression with her alluring aura and admirable mindset in season 1. But something I find really interesting about the third season is how often the female contestants are compared to Jia and labeled as Jia wannabes. This is especially true in the case of Gyu-ri. While I do not support pinning women against each other, I do find it interesting to examine why Gyu-ri would be given such a title by the public. Also, can we learn something from these ladies and apply it to the real dating world? Before we start, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive right into our debrief session. One of the reasons why these two women are compared to each other so often is because Jia and Gyu-ri actually have a lot in common. Of course, all female contestants of any Netflix dating shows are conventionally attractive, right? But when you think about Jia and Gyu-ri, they actually have very similar styles. Feminine, luxurious, and a little bit mysterious. What makes fans turn their back on Gyu-ri, however, is her attitude. While Jia's mysterious aura felt more natural and even inviting, Gyu-ri came off as unfriendly. And in my opinion, they're the perfect examples for playing hard to get and being hard to get. There are different attitudes rooted in different mindsets that would bring about different outcomes for your dating life. In the first episode of the first season, almost every one of the contestants and the panelists commented on Jia's seemingly cold and distant appearance. However, soon after, her approachable personality came as a pleasant surprise, as she willingly took part in different activities, participated in conversations with everyone, and generally exuded a soft, polite but positive energy. In comparison, Gyu-ri didn't manage to make such a good impression. She seemed rather cold and distant, and she remained that way until the first selection. To be fair, it seems like Jia had much more time to get comfortable with everyone, while things moved much faster in the third season. But I do agree with one piece of criticism that many have pointed out about Gyu-ri. She lacks situational awareness. In Korean culture and many other Eastern Asian, situational awareness is very important, no matter what gender or age you are. In a broader sense, it means you're understanding and observant of the environment around you and how it changes over time. In this specific case, situational awareness could simply mean to be considerate of the people on the island, how everyone, just like you, is navigating through a tough situation of being surrounded by a bunch of attractive strangers and dozens of cameras, stranded on a deserted island with no real food. If you're aware of that, you would appreciate an open and positive energy and try to exude such energy yourself. This is even pointed out by the panelists when they correctly predicted Min Young's popularity based on her positive reactions alone. Gyu-ri, on the other hand, didn't receive any votes from the male contestants. Later in the season, Gyu-ri opened up more, and unexpectedly, she became the most popular female contestant at certain points. However, the lack of situational awareness kept getting in the way of effective and straightforward communication between her and her fellow islanders. I'm sure I'm not the only one who got really frustrated during that scene where she was very condescending to Minwoo and Shion. She didn't realize that Minwoo was forming quite a serious connection with Shion, despite never having gone to paradise with her. Gyu-ri also didn't know that when she picked Minwoo to be in paradise with her, he was actually looking forward to spending more time with Shion. And so when confronted with Minwoo's feelings, Gyu-ri felt as if he was having a sudden change of heart just because she was away for a day. Still, that does not excuse her attitude and how she unfairly shut down both Minwoo and Shion. Gyu-ri did admit to having behaved inappropriately in a post-show interview, so I don't think she's a terrible person at all. However, I do think that she lacks the situational awareness that could have helped her navigate social interactions better and foster healthier friendships and relationships. People online have been comparing her reactions to winning against Hye-sun and Hye-sun's reactions to winning against Minji. As you can see, just a little situational awareness would bring so much warmth to your life and the people around you. Alright, but what does situational awareness have anything to do with being or playing hard to get? Bear with me, we're almost there. It all makes sense, okay? So let's get this out of the way first. Being hard to get, it's a good mindset that every woman should embrace. You should be hard to get. Whenever a man thinks you're not worth his time and effort, he shouldn't get you. And Songjia was popular with many girls and adult women after the show exactly because she embodied this mindset so seamlessly. She gave the men on the show a chance, but never made it too easy for them. When the timing felt right, she let them in or out of her life. But that's what sets her apart from Gyu-ri. Jia knows when the timing is right because she has situational awareness. In other words, she knows when to be agreeable and when to be disagreeable. On the other hand, the lack of situational awareness could misplace your confidence and turn it into a recipe for unpleasant dating experiences. So let's dive into this. Do you think that this is good advice? The man should make an effort to be able to talk to you. You might say, yeah, absolutely. That's what Jia did a lot of the time, right? The men who were interested in her had to make a lot of effort to keep her attention. But here's the thing. They have already had the time to get to know her. Whereas in Gyu-ri's situation in the first episode, nobody knew who she was. Sure, she was attractive, but so were the other contestants. And as I've mentioned before, all the stressful elements of a first meeting on a desert island play a huge part in studying the atmosphere. It just didn't help to already expect effort from your potential suitors. It would help to be a little bit more agreeable. So the same rule applies in real life. Situational awareness and a critical mind will help you decide for yourself if it is the appropriate time to be agreeable or not. Another thing that I'd like to point out is that Jia did not expect the guys to be interested in her. When she was asked out on a date, she received the affection with a calm and grateful attitude. This is because she is, again, aware that her fellow female contestants are also attractive people. We see the same energy from Hye-sun from season 3, as she also deals with Kwan-hee's confusion very calmly. These behaviors are rooted in their confidence that not all men are a good match for them. Not all men will be attracted to them. Not all men will treat them right. And that's fine. They know their worth and that their value does not rely on whether the male contestants pursue them. This is very different from expecting men to be into them, which seems to be Gyu-ri's case. Her ego got really hurt when Minwoo was not sure about his feelings for her. Instead of taking in the situation calmly and perhaps considering the possibility that Shion has made as much impact on him as she did, Gyu-ri felt personally attacked. This feeling was reflected in the things she said to and about Minwoo, which I felt were unfair and honestly unnecessary. And so, being hard to get is not just understanding your worth, but also being in the presence and detaching your worth from how other people perceive you. Playing hard to get, on the other hand, is displaying disagreeable behaviors that seem empowering and self-protective at first, but later turn out to be inappropriate considering your surroundings. I like to end this video with the best dating advice I've ever heard. Your actions won't change anything, but your energy will. Don't focus on displaying disagreeable behaviors just to prove to others that you're hard to get. That's just playing hard to get. And while it can be fun for your ego, it doesn't really lead you to long-term happiness and stable relationships. Instead, focus on being hard to get, which means to develop a good sense of situational awareness and know when it's time to be agreeable or disagreeable. You will not have to play hard to get if you truly believe that you are hard to get. And that's all the tea. Thank you for tuning in to Debrief Sesh. Leave a comment for me if you want to hear my take on anything around dating, pop culture, and dating in pop culture. This episode has been a joy to make, so I hope you like it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to help me grow the channel. See you next time!